Anyone who's tied the knot knows how expensive a wedding reception can be, but you can still dazzle your guests and not break your budget. Special guest with us today, we have Suzy Gazzellone from Suzy's Cake Angels, and we're going to make some cupcakes, and maybe we'll even try some cupcakes.
Absolutely.
Okay, but let's talk a little bit about the wedding reception, because it can be expensive, but there are several things that we can do to minimize those costs.
Absolutely. So a lot of the times when I am, meeting with my brides, my couples, their concern is the budget, right? Can we meet the budget? Can I still have this grandiose, luxurious, elegant cake without breaking the bank?
Yes.
So my recommendations is you can kind of mix faux tiers with real cake.
I love this idea.
Right? It's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
So basically, like this cake right over here, part of that is faux, so these 3 tiers are faux, the top is real.
Okay.
So if the bride and groom want to take the top home, a year later, cut it up, or serve a certain amount of guests, they can do that.
Right.
So you have that option, so you could get that big, grander look. You can also do a complete opposite where you do all your dessert as the cake. So each tier is a multiple flavors.
Nice.
So that way you don't have to pay for the dessert at the reception. All you do is just purchase the cake this way. Another option is instead of doing fondant, you do buttercream. That also helps reduce the cost.
Okay.
So you cover it in buttercream. Buttercream in itself offers this beautiful texture, very natural and elegant texture. So that in itself speaks to the design. Flowers are very costly. It went up since COVID, so
As did everything else.
As did everything else. So in order to keep that cost low, you could put faux flowers.
Yeah.
And it does the trick,
That looks amazing.
Right? I see that a lot with weddings where they mix real flowers with fake flowers, and it works. Sometimes I can't even tell the difference until I go up close to look at that.
Absolutely. Do you want to get started on these cupcakes?
Yes,
and I'll ask you about what we have on the display here.
So we're going to start with vanilla cupcakes.
Okay.
And I have flour here, and we're going to do dry ingredients, wet ingredients, and we're going to sift the dry ingredients because we want to break it up.
Yep.
Room temperature ingredients are very important because it helps smooth with the smoothing of the batter in itself. So I'm going to actually get you to whisk.
I'll be the whisker.
You're the whisker, and I have the flour in there. We're going to put some sugar, some baking powder, and salt.
Look at these whisking skills, Suzy.
I know. Look at you. Oh, okay. No, it's okay.
Almost had a malfunction.
Yeah, there you
in the
go.
junction.
That's okay. You're great. So we're going to whisk that.
Okay.
I want to offer another option in terms of setting up, a budget for your wedding. You can also opt out for no cake and do a cupcake stand, which is what we're working on now.
Which looks amazing.
Right? Or donut stands.
I love this
Or
idea.
a donut wall. How fun is that?
Donut stand, donut wall,
Right?
donut crawl, donut anything is going to work.
You could do multiple desserts. So I'm going to get you to whisk.
Okay.
Are
Yep.
you
You just witnessed
I'm
my
just going to
whisking
just dump it
skills.
in and you just whisk. So
Okay.
we got 2 eggs going on in here.
All right.
And then we have full fat milk. I'm all about the fatter the better because it adds to the moisture.
Yep.
And it just makes it delicious. And then we're making vanilla cupcakes. So we have 2 teaspoons of vanilla, good quality vanilla, not imitation vanilla. It has to
Smells
be
amazing.
the authentic.
And it's not
real
even
deal.
in cupcake form yet.
It's not even in cupcake form, and I'm glad that it smells really good. So we're gonna take the wet and we're gonna put it over into the dry. So another option I have for a budget-friendly tips for brides that are, getting their wedding cakes and stuff like that. You can also do just a dessert table and just put like mini tarts or mini donuts
Kind of like finger food dessert style.
Yeah, exactly, mini cupcakes.
Right.
There's so many alternative options that you can do. And you know what? It kind of comes down to the styling too, the way that you style your table,
Absolutely.
right?
You got about a minute.
Yeah.
So let's fill up these.
Okay, so we're just gonna mix that so that not overmix, because if you overmix, guess what happens?
What happens? Clumping?
Yeah, and dense. It gets too dense.
you don't
Nobody
want that.
wants a dense
No.
cupcake. Get your ice cream scooper.
Okay.
This is an essential trick, and we're gonna scoop it out. And actually, it works out to about 3/4 of the filling, filling the
10.
liner, which is what you want. So you get these nice, even cupcakes with just the right amount of
Because too
batter.
much and they're exploding out, too little.
Yeah,
it's
and
not-
they create this like weird top. Whereas if you get it to 3/4 of the liner, it'll just it'll work out
Come
so
out
that
like
they're
this.
nice and smooth,
Yes.
right? And that's basically my tip.
So in the oven for?
In the oven for about 15 minutes. I would check at the 15-minute mark, depending on your oven. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. 350, make sure your oven's at 350.
Boom.
Middle rack, very important.
Okay.
Check it with a toothpick. If there's a little bit of crumbs on the toothpick, that's perfect, because cupcakes will still continue cooking outside or baking outside of the oven.
Amazing display. We're going to polish these off. We'll eat them for breakfast later on. Hopefully you're enjoying your breakfast. Suzy, thanks for joining us this
Thank you
morning.
so much, Rick. Great to be here.
And the links to all this on our website, chch.com/morninglive. Good morning.